I rented the planetarium dome for one night. What the stars refused to hide. I didn't rent the planetarium because I like astronomy. I rented it because the dome won't let you lie without echoing. Stars are stories, and I wanted ours projected too big to dodge. If you help the night technician replace a busted ballast at 3 a.m. without making a speech about hazard pay, he remembers. I had. So when I texted Grant at 11:20 p.m., he called back with a voice that smelled like solder and burned popcorn. "You can have the dome until 2, he said. "I'll loop a demo sky for you. Don't touch the Zeiss head. And you know the rule, no trials after 2. He laughed like a man who's seen couples confuse constellations for contracts. At 11:42, my phone delivered the sentence my marriage could type blindfolded. Loadout ran late. Quick debrief turned into a drink might crash at the office. Don't wait up. Her name is Lena. She manages volunteers like an orchestra and donors like a weather system. We've been faithful to competence and stingy with appetite for a year. Then came the operations lead every city invents, Rafe, with Gaffer in his tote and gravity in his posture. He stands exactly one respectful step from married women, which in daylight keeps marriages intact, and at midnight makes necks suspicious. The dome hummed awake, throwing stars across curved plaster. I set 2 paper cups on the control bench and listened to the projector's fan purr like a bureaucrat who knows your file. Above, Orion flexed the arrogance of centuries. The Pleiades twitched like they were trying to remember their own script. I sat in the second row, the one with the torn armrest, and waited. They came through the service door at 12:03, a rectangle of hallway light that failed to apologize. Lena first, hair pinned in the shape competence requires, heels in her hand because competence knows when to surrender. Rafe behind her, sleeves shoved, tote at his hip, eyes doing the perimeter math that keeps other people's nights from making the paper. He saw me first. Men who carry after midnight learn to spot a husband in a darkened dome. "You rented the stars," Lena said, half a smile, half an accusation. "That's very you." "I wanted a ceiling that won't flatter us," I said. "Say it under constellations. They know repetition." Rafe stopped just inside the tape line, palms visible like a priest of exits. "Need me?" he asked her, not me. "I need you exactly there," she said, pointing at the yellow stripe that keeps children from touching the projector. "If I want less distance, I'll use your name." He obeyed. Good men do. It keeps them paid and hard to hate. The dome dimmed into a deep, forgiving blue. Stars sharpened. My pulse found a rhythm it had been missing. "Say it," I told her. "In an elevator," she said, because fate syndicates its worst scripts. 2 weeks ago, between floors and nouns, I kissed him quick, mint, rehearsal. He stepped back. He said my name like a lock. I hated him for being the adult. I hated me for liking that he was. Tonight I almost followed the part of me that loves doors. I came here. "Do you want me to hit him?" I asked, hearing the absurd theater in my own mouth. "I want you to choose me," she said. "Not rescue, appetite." The dome shifted to a slow rotation, Milky Way sprawling across our heads like a courtroom ceiling. I reached, put my hand at the back of her neck, thumb pressed into the notch I've kept for emergencies that should be pleasures. Her eyes closed like a public vote. I kissed her, jurisdiction, not apology. She answered like a woman who had been a plan for 12 hours and wanted to be a person for 4 minutes. My other hand slid along her ribs to the line where elastic makes civilization a joint project. I stopped. I prefer the man I wake up as to the one an affidavit might invent. She took my lower lip between her teeth, brief and deliberate, then laughed into my cheek, the laugh that pays my rent in January. "Do you still want to hit him?" she asked, not glancing at Rafe. who had turned to read the emergency exit placard like it contained scripture. "I want to thank him for stepping back," I said, "and I want to owe him nothing else." "That's a budget," she said. "We can live in it." Above us, Saturn's rings glowed smug. "Tell me the worst thing you almost did," she said. "I drove to a motel lot with a key I never asked for," I said. "Watched the brass number shine like a dare. Laughed myself home because even my worst ideas prefer daylight." "I almost texted you proof," she said. "Screenshots times. I almost let evidence pretend to be love. I deleted drafts and drank water in a lobby until my reflection stopped auditioning." The dome darkened to meteor shower mode, streaks scribbling our silence. Rafe cleared his throat in the polite key that keeps vans on time. "Loadin' at 9, he said to the aisle carpet. "The truck wants 4 backs and 0 speeches." "Coffee on me," I said. He nodded once, grateful to be furniture. Lena sank into the chair beside mine. She pressed her hand to my wrist, daylight legal, and whispered, "Do something foolish." I pulled a grease pencil from my pocket and wrote small on the armrest, "Choose before the elevator does." She took it, rolled her sleeve, and scrawled along the inside of her wrist, "Appetite, not theater." I kissed the ink dry and the dome politely refused to notice. We leaned back, watched the galaxy spin, and told truths small enough to keep. That her shoulders ache from pretending competence is sexy. That I count ceiling tiles when I'm scared. That she wants my mouth in fluorescent lobbies where nobody pretends romance is legal. That I'm tired of being good and ready to be generous. At 12:47 the demo track rolled into sunrise. Light washed the stars away like guilt with a budget. We stood. She kissed me again, brief and exact. "Invite me to your daylight," she said. "Stand beside me when the fluorescents are rude. Put your hand at my neck when I'm working." "Yes," I said, "and let me carry the stupid end of the load. Forgive me forward, not backward." She smiled in the small way that builds scaffolding. The on-screen sun climbed, oblivious. We left the dome cleaner than we found it. I wiped the armrest, left one fingerprint where only a janitor might see. Outside, the parking lot smelled of damp leaves and stories that had to wait. She touched my wrist again, and the air adjusted its temperature to us. At 9, the community center smelled like lemons and tape. Rafe was already stacking tables with that modest inevitability that teaches gravity to behave. I carried the other end and let the sun hire my posture. Lena moved through the room with a clipboard, and a mouth volunteers obey without hatting themselves. When she passed me, she tapped the ink on her wrist with 2 fingers, and the morning chose us without speeches. During break, I set a coffee by Rafe's elbow. "Thanks for being the adult in the elevator," I said. "Thanks for booking a ceiling that refuses to flatter," he said. He studied the table leg like it had a better story. We loaded the van without theater. Tape squealed. A case forgave itself. Gravity agreed to negotiate one more day. We didn't tell anyone about the dome. We taped a planetarium ticket stub to the side of our fridge under the magnet shaped like the ridiculous boat we bought one summer we didn't ruin. Sometimes when the house auditions for courtroom, we turn off the lights and project a star app onto the ceiling until we remember. No trials after 2, choose before the elevator does, appetite not theater. And then we sleep, because sleep is not the enemy of desire. It's where desire waits, stretching, ready for another morning where our names are still ours.